Far from home, all in the diamond, follow my lead. I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. When we fell in love, not knowing what it was, I would not give you up this time. Darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes, your behind, dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When I saw you in that dress, looking so beautiful, I don't like this, telling you look perfect tonight.
There's always that quiet pause because nobody's really quite sure what's going to happen next. But what is we just listen quietly to some music as an introduction for today. even in my old age, I have to turn to modern technology. Oh, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. I'm Justin Barwick, and I'm Cecily's brother. And with my wife Anne and our daughter Trish and Judith, my sister, we feel very privileged to be part of today's celebration. It's fitting that we should just pause and listen quietly to some music. Music was very much part of Cecily's life. And many of you may not be aware, Cecily was a very good pianist. And over many, many years, Cecily, Judith and I would spend time around the piano entertaining our parents in various areas of capability, I might add. But I do remember once when we were travelling to Ulverston for our Christmas holidays, somehow or another we sang a beautiful rendition of Love's Old Sweet Song, which came out actually in 3 voices, 3 parts. And I don't know how we ever did it, but we did it and it was beautiful and put my mother into tears. So Cecily was really the one responsible for all of that. May I especially acknowledge Cecily's immediate family, Matthew and Alison, and their partners, children and grandchildren, and their deceased brother Richard. This celebration, as seems to be the case so often now, is on live stream. And so somewhere in London, we say hello to Daniel, Alan and Alison's son. You may not be with us in presence, Daniel, but we do welcome you in spirit. Today is a day of great sadness as we mourn the death of a beautiful lady who has left us with many happy memories, who has allowed us into her life in so many different ways, and who we will remember with great affection. From my own point of view, I may say there were many advantages in having 2 elder sisters. By the time my parents got to having to get them on the straight and narrow, I think they might have given up, and I got an extraordinary amount of freedom as the result of it. So I'm very grateful to the 2 of them for that. There are many stories that I could tell you that Cecily in particular influenced my life, and to go into them all was probably more for the afters, because they do deserve a lot of special treatment. But I'm sure that there are many that will be mentioned in the reflections that are shown from Matthew and Alison. I then would ask them to come forward and to say a few words about their mother.
Thank you, Justin, and thank you all for attending this memorial and to celebrate the life of my mother. It's such a pleasure to meet many of you for the first time and to renew old acquaintances. Thank you. As I'm sure Melania Trump would say, there are some things in life that you are glad that you only do once. And here we are for my mother's memorial. Just a minute. I'd particularly like to thank my sister Alison for all the work she's done in organising this at short notice. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and I know that my mother would have been the same. Quietly organising, getting on with the job that needs to be done. It's a lovely opportunity for us all to be here and share our love and memories of a wonderful person. Thank you. As a family, we take solace that everyone here today has had their life influenced by my mother. We can see from the pamphlet listed some of the outstanding achievements of my mum, but for me there is one thing that's missing and the most important, and that is as a mother. A mother is a special person, and my mum was special. Her selflessness would go unnoticed, and she juggled her commitments to her family with calm dexterity, yet she was still able to forge on with her own professional and intellectual aims. I remember as a young teenager breaking my arm and having to spend a couple of days in hospital. Mum was doing a locum at the hospital, so it was easy for her to pop up to the ward. Upon my discharge, there was no nonsense, and she said that I was quite capable of being at home by myself as she needed to get on with her work. Mum had the thankless task of ferrying me to football matches, tennis lessons, squash tournaments, and to music. We all remember those times at school when your lunch sometimes consisted of a Vegemite sandwich, a Tim Tam biscuit and an orange. Then when you become a parent, you empathise with your mother as you try and pack the kids up for school and get yourself to work. I'm sure my grandchildren, 2 of them that are here today, expect to get tuna sushi and nasi goreng for lunch. Assistance with my education was a given. There are probably a number of teachers here today, and they will concur that 90% of education is from the commitment of the parents. I remember when I was probably in year 8 in science, we were learning about litmus paper and how it was made from a plant dye. I think it's made from a lichen, if I remember correctly. Anyway, I thought, what can I make? So Mum encouraged me to have a go and experiment. She headed down to town to get the blotting paper while I decapitated the hydrangea plant. We boiled up the leaves, soaked them in the blotting paper, and to this day we never discovered what we could actually test with it. But Mum never stifled enthusiasm and provided endless encouragement. I know she turned a blind eye to me taking sulphur, saltpetre and charcoal from the pharmacy to make my own fireworks. Her nurturing yet encouragement developed my independence and resilience was the way she worked. I remember as a 17-year-old the day I left home to go to university. There was no fuss from her. She kissed me goodbye and said, "Study hard and enjoy yourself." This was her way knowing she had prepared me for the next stage of my life. When I moved and lived in England, Mum would love coming to visit me, and probably around 1990 she came and stayed with me when I was at Hampton Court Palace. She loved chatting to the police on the gates, and she was known affectionately as Cecily from Australia. And as we know, Mum could get on with anyone of any age, and she loved heading over to the King's Arms with me and my mates as we played board games and passed the pigs with the occasional glass of wine and pint of beer. Later, when I had a family of my own, her trips to England became more frequent. Mum loved and cherished her time with her grandchildren. We had a number of trips to Cornwall, and she just loved spending time with them. And I remember on one visit to Port Isaac in Cornwall, I remember her for her enthusiasm when she said, "I've seen all this on that TV show, Doc Martin." We will all miss my mother, but to be missed is to be loved. Once again, I thank you for all being here and for all your support. Today is about being happy for the life of my mother, and that I'm glad that a piece of my mum's love, support and kindness has spread to us all. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for being here. Over the last week, so many of Mum's friends and colleagues have shared some lovely stories of her. The sense of fun, her mentoring, her support and care. This has led me to consider who Mum was to me, beyond being a mum. From a young age, we shared so much together. Conversations, successes, failures, and just doing the things we loved. Our time was when we would sit and watch a country practice and Sullivan's while Dad and Matt were at squash. We would laugh and cry and just carry on with all the silly stories and become involved. Or I'd perch myself up on the kitchen bench, chatting away while she cooked dinner for us. Then there were the film festivals, the musicals, the operas, the galleries and exhibitions that we went to. We actually went to some amazing shows over the years. And of course there were the footy matches when I was living in Melbourne, and she always insisted on having a meat pie at the game. The special time we shared though was as a mother and a grandmother. And that's when we truly understood ourselves. We shared the joy of Daniel and Elizabeth. Mum was always on the end of the phone when I needed her, or just to have a chat, and that's what I miss the most. There are other memories, although she would deny it. Mum's skills went beyond academia and pharmacy. She was a beautiful dressmaker. She made her own clothes when she first started working, and clothes for us kids when we were little, including smock dresses for me. I remember she made me this beautiful lined chiffon ball dress for my Year 9 ball. Now anyone who sews will appreciate the skill needed to make a perfectly fitted, satin-lined chiffon gown. She was also a good cook, even though she didn't enjoy it. There was a famous rivalry between her and our Gran as to who made the best tomato sauce. Well, Gran's was great, but Mum's was our favourite. Her amazing lobster thermidor was better than any restaurant could make, and I think the secret might have been a dash of brandy. And she did make the best chocolate cake, the best chocolate sponge cake ever. So Cecily, this lady who shook hands with the Queen, yet she'd help someone in the street. She had a beautiful way of making people feel comfortable, cared for, and truly seen. She was a professional, a businesswoman, and a community leader. Above all, she was my mum.
Thank you, Matthew and Alison. I was just a bit concerned there, Matt, in the advice that Cecily gave you before you went to uni of study hard and play hard, whether we should ask you in which order did you put those two things. And Alison, if I may, the other thing that your mother was better than Judith's and my mother, your gran, was cooking scallops. And because Mum thought she was a damn good scallop cook, well, I can tell you Cecily was one better. We're very lucky to be able to have two people reflect so beautifully on Cecily's life. As I said earlier, there are pretty many other things that we could add that would increase our joy and our solemnity, certainly. We're going to pause for a moment now and have a view of some of the many photographs that have been collected over a long period of time of Cecily's life. I'm a bit concerned, though, that a number of those shots, in fact, probably more than 50% of them, were gathered around tables eating and drinking. But I'd have to say that is so much part of our family, because gathering together over a meal and having a glass of wine or water, depending on one's likes, has always been such an integral part of being family. One other little anecdote I can share with you is that I don't know if you noticed in that, but there was a photograph of Cecily with a pillbox hat on. Well, that happened the night that Cecily graduated in pharmacy, and I can tell you the exact date. It was the 30th of November 1959, because it was one day before I sat for my school's board examinations, as they were. And in fairly typical Barwick fashion again, they got their results at a meeting that was held by the pharmacy board, and that didn't finish till about 10 o'clock. So they all decided that they would come back to our place, which again wasn't an uncommon thing. So at about 11 o'clock at night started the party for all of these new pharmacy graduates who had no intention whatsoever of going to bed, and none of them had any idea that I had to get up in the morning and sit for my first English examination. I remember that vividly. The extraordinary thing about that, or the aftermath, was that I got a credit in English, and that was the only subject that I got any credits in my school's board. So it had something to do with that. After those joys and memories, and I'm sure we all have many others, may I ask my sister Judith to come and share the reflection.
Well, after, those beautiful visual reflections and memories, I think as we speak of sharing the gifts of life, this reflection speaks very much in word of how Cecily lived her life among us. May we offer the gift of listening, whether or not we have anything to say. May we offer the gift of silence when the world is crowded with noise. May we offer the gift of words when others need to hear hope and common sense. May we offer the gift of presence when someone else needs a person close by. And may we offer the gift of creativity, whatever we may do well and joyfully. May we offer the gift of hospitality when a welcome home and a welcome heart bring warmth and shelter. May we offer the gift of kindness, because the world needs a touch of compassion in every corner of our globe. May we offer the gift of laughter, because the world needs joy in abundance. May we offer the gift of prayer, for our world is crying out for the healing presence of God. May we offer the gift of love, because the world needs love above all else. And this day and every day, may we give thanks for the gift of Cecily to each one of us.
Before we play our closing piece of music, may I thank you all for honouring Cecily as you have done this afternoon. Alison and Matthew invite you to gather here at the back in the reception area for refreshments and a chance to catch up with family and friends, And from here on in, you're allowed to tell as many lies about Cecily as you want to. And finally, Cecily, we will still call you by the old familiar name, speak of you in the easy way which we always used. Put no difference into your tone, wear no forced air or solemnity or sorrow. We will laugh as we always laughed at the little jokes we enjoyed together. We will play, smile, think of you, Cess, and pray for you. Your name will ever be the household word that it always was. It will be spoken without effort, without the ghost of a shadow upon it. Go in peace, Cecily, our loving and lovable mother, sister, gran, and friend. Thank you and good afternoon.